King's Landing now.
Hey everybody, time to break this down. I'll also address a couple of the bigger questions for my episode 1 video. And there's a new round of the giveaway for HBO Now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. So the first thing, Yohn Royce of the Vale is crapping on Daenerys. That means that they may have gotten the Raven from Samwell, telling them about the Dragonglass at Dragonstone. So immediately you know exactly how Jon Snow is going to react. We need to go get that. But most of the people in this room were old enough to remember Robert's Rebellion, so they're still thinking about the Mad King. The Mad King's daughter will destroy the realm. Cersei says it herself too. They're trying to set Daenerys and her dragons up as this conquering force that's going to wash over the realm and destroy everything. People like Yohn Royce, his concerns are valid. They have no reason to trust Daenerys, no matter what she's done in the East. All they know is that she's coming to take the Iron Throne, so it's going to take a leap of faith on their part in something to prove Daenerys' intentions. So we can lay some predictions about how that might happen. Like they have to prove to Daenerys the threat of the White Walkers so that she'll believe Jon Snow, and Daenerys is going to have to do something to make Jon Snow and his people believe in her. So we as the audience obviously know that Jon Snow is part Targaryen, so they very literally share DNA, but Jon Snow doesn't know that, Daenerys doesn't know that, and Bran isn't anywhere near Winterfell. And there are a lot of predictions that he is not going to reveal the entire truth to Jon this season. Like Game of Thrones is really good at providing visual cues, the dragons might like Jon Snow, they might behave differently around him, and that would be one way of implying that they're not so bad. But Tyrion really, I think, is going to be the person to help here, because he's spent a lot of time with Jon Snow at the Wall. He's turned against Queen Cersei, so just like Euron allied with Cersei, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, Jon Snow has one more reason to trust them, because they hate Cersei as much as he does. So without any revelation from Bran, Daenerys-Jon Snow alliance is just one of convenience. Like, we need all the help we can get. We need you and your Dragonglass right now. But then you have Cersei in the south trying to drum up more support by striking fear into the hearts of everyone who isn't already allied with the North or with the Targaryen restoration. She's going to come in and destroy everything. That's how you get people to turn against Daenerys. Just set her up as the Mad Queen, the Mad King's daughter, come again. Cersei is a master at fear-mongering and twisting people around her finger. That's why I like the Sansa line from the previous episode where she talks about how dangerous Cersei is, and Jon Snow's like, "You sound like you admire her." There's no sign of Jaime Highgarden. That might be pushed to episode 3, but really the exciting thing is Yara Greyjoy just jumping the gun. We have a fleet. We have 3 dragons. Let's strike King's Landing now. So there are a couple things that are going on in this scene. One, you see Ellaria Sand. You know that Euron Greyjoy needs to bring a gift to Cersei, a priceless gift. So a lot of you book readers in the comments were asking about Euron's dragon horn from the books. I don't think the TV show is going to do the horn. I think the priceless gift will be Ellaria Sand. They'll battle at sea. Euron will crush Daenerys' fleet because it's a nice parallel for Robert's Rebellion and Daenerys' birth, which I'll explain in a second. I talked a little bit about it during my episode 1 video. They're just setting up this idea that they're going to balance the scales because right now, Yara is not wrong. They have this unstoppable force, but they're at sea and Euron is the most powerful person at sea. During Robert's Rebellion, on the night of Daenerys' birth, there was this great storm raging above Dragonstone in Blackwater while the drama of her birth was unfolding. The Targaryen fleet was being smashed at sea, so it just sounds like they're going to parallel that. There's a lot of parallels for Robert's Rebellion, a lot of parallels for Aegon's conquest. That's what all those comments from Archmaester Marwyn in the Citadel were about, Jim Broadbent's character, where he said, people freaked out during Robert's Rebellion, they thought the world was ending. People freaked out during Aegon's conquest and thought the world was ending. People freaked out during the Long Night and thought that the world was going to end. And I know a lot of you are asking about the White Walkers at Eastwatch by the Sea. Like, are they just going to go around the wall? What's the deal? What's the wall for if they're just going to go around it? I think what's going to happen is that they can't go around it, but because of Bran's mark, that's going to leave a little bit of a crack. So if you did have a really big army, the easiest way to move it around the wall would literally be to go around the wall. But I think what's been preventing them from doing that before has been the enchantment. Something about the way the Night King marked Bran has weakened that, but it's going to take a little bit more, so that's where the big battle is going to take place. So just be aware in these early episodes that they set up ideas and plot points like the cat's paws Valyrian dagger in Samwell's book. That's probably a page about making Valyrian steel and some of the things that are required. The next big thing, this was kind of spoilery, so I didn't want to put this in the thumbnail, but it's Nymeria. Arya runs into her on her way, what it looks like south, but there's snow on the ground. So something could happen early in the episode with those Lannister soldiers, or Ed Sheeran drops an info bomb that makes her think of her home, say, oh no, I don't need to go south, I need to go north. So she turns around and goes back north. But the last time Nymeria was seen in the book, she was in the Riverlands. There is a super PAC that she's gathered around her. She's still alive in the books. So it was implied that at some point Arya would have a reunion with her. We just didn't know when it was going to happen and how it was going to go down. And just for reference, while she was in Braavos, all that time that she was studying to be a faceless person, she was still having wolf dreams. All of the Stark children who are still alive and whose dire wolves are still alive, which is now just Arya with Nymeria and Jon Snow with Ghost, have wolf dreams. And it's because they're wargs, like they have that in their DNA. But it could be Ed Sheeran's group, it could be Nymeria that causes Arya to think about her home and question her mission to cross Cersei's name off of her list. Something just reminds her of her home, and that's probably what turns her around. A lot of you are asking about who this woman stabbing in the trailer is. It looks like she's on one of the ships, so it's probably just from that big Greyjoy battle, but she does not look familiar. You see Yara kissing Ellaria Sand. I guess that's maybe to make you care about the character more before they have a big twist with Euron and Cersei. We're going to do all kinds of awful things to you. And I know you're all going crazy about this. Jon Snow throttling Littlefinger in the crypts. They're actually next to the statue of Lyanna Stark. So there could be any number of things that Littlefinger could say that would piss Jon Snow off, but it's probably just meant to undermine his leadership. There are a lot of people that are theorizing that Littlefinger knows Jon Snow's parentage, but I don't think that's the case. I think that Littlefinger suspects things. I think that he knows that Rhaegar was in love with Lyanna Stark, but he probably doesn't have absolute proof of Jon Snow's parentage. So we'll find out next week, but leave all your bonus video requests in the comments below. I'm still collecting questions for my first Q&A video for episode